Okay, we are moving into champions. Like, first bans should be coming out any second. Echo taken off the table in the first place. Not too common of a pick recently in terms of meta popularity, so I imagine that is a target ban directed towards Peridot in that mid lane position. Syndra also banned out, just a very strong, impressive mid laner. Not surprised to see her taken off the table. It'll be interesting to see what type of meta we have today, if teams are going to try to interpret things that we have seen in professional play, or if we are going to have teams trying to interpret their own style and make whatever they can work. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Rek'Sai and Victor taken off the table as the second bans, followed by Aurelia. Rek'Sai is just ridiculously strong right now with Conquer. Conquer is just OP in the game right now, so not surprised to see the Rek'Sai taken away. Final ban for OSU is going to be the Cassiopeia. Hovering the Nautilus, a lot of people would suggest that is like a topper support pick, but with the recent patches, recent buffs and the patches that he's gotten, most likely we'll be seeing that as an AP mid, which is just ridiculous amount of damage. Normally saved to be a counter pick, normally works better in those melee matchups in the mid lane, but see if OSU knows how to draft around that. Do see the Thresh get picked up, which is just one of those amazingly consistent supports. And followed by the Jarvan, most likely going to be the jungle pickup there for them. Okay, we do have the Kai'Sa coming out. And in the organized play where we do have all people playing on comms, it'll be interesting to see if they can get this scaling ADC rolling, because if they can get it rolling, play a protect the Kai'Sa game, it'll be interesting to just see how she can run away with the game. Followed up by the Orianna, so it looks like I mentioned it will be a protect the Kai'Sa comp coming out here for Why Are You Running. I love to see these type of comps in the competitive play, just because they work so well when you're actually all on communication, getting to talk to each other, and communicating how and when to peel for that Kai'Sa. Ooh, we do see the Akali come out as the last pick in the first round for OSU here. I imagine the bans that we will be seeing most likely, and actually, sorry, with the Orianna pickup there, most likely not going to be a Nautilus mid lane, more likely going to be the Nautilus support. But still, Nautilus support, I believe, is the highest win rate support right now after patch 9.8. Just, they gave his, just in the last two patches, a ridiculous amount of buffs to that champion.
We do what we must.
Okay, and we do have the Hecarim and Lee Sin ban coming through. Looks like they are trying to target the jungle since their jungler has not picked up. Muting You is getting target banned a little bit here. I imagine they're going to ban another 80s carry. There we go. We have the Vayne and the Lucian getting banned away because OSU has not picked up their... Keat, how you doing, my friend? Welcome, Keat, to the cast, everybody. And for champion select, OSU versus Why Are You Running?
Oh, wow. All right. Hop right into it. All right, so we have...
They baited me a little bit with the Nautilus. For Nautilus first pick, and then they picked the Orianna, so I was excited for the AP Nautilus mid, but it looks like we're not going to get to see that in game one.
No, you might see it top, though. Nautilus top is definitely a thing that's coming up quite a bit, so we'll be interested to see where that goes. Let's see. All right, so funny story, J-Daddy Me-Link is actually maybe how we can call it, a former member of Why Are You Running. So this will be a fun and spicy match. Watch him play against his own team as we see the Maokai get locked in here. So it looks like it might be a Nautilus support.
Yeah, looks like most likely that Nautilus support, followed up by the Rengar pick. Will hover right now. Be interesting to see if they do pick that up.
Yeah, it'll be a good ball delivery system, right? When Rengar can go invisible and jump in, Orianna can keep the ball onto Rengar looking for that shockwave play. As we see the volley bear being hovered. So we might see an Akali mid here, which will be really interesting. To see what 50C Range Cup hovers.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Ooh,
Oh, the
Vladimir.
Vlad. Okay. So, I mean, Vlad into Maokai, I mean, it's not as though one lane has a super high advantage, but Vladimir obviously is going to reach that 1v9 point in the game. I think Vladimir is one of the strongest characters in the game right now as far as late game potential goes. So I really like the draft coming out of OSU here. Really is all-around, well-rounded, solid comp, a little heavy on the AP damage from Akali and Vladimir, but, I mean, late game, that's a scary-looking team.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see how both of these teams can execute the compositions that they've drafted for. I mentioned in the beginning it looked like Why Are You Running was drafting a little bit more as a protect the Kai'Sa comp, so I'm a little surprised to see the Maokai and the Rengar as the last two picks for them.
Yeah, Maokai works, right, because Maokai can keep him locked in and whatnot, while the Rengar is obviously more of a backline assassin looking for the plays onto, let's say, the Jhin, perhaps, trying to execute him before he can get much damage off. But all around, this should be a really exciting game. Before we continue any further, let's run down the lineup. If you want to, I'll run for blue team, you run for red team?
Yeah,
Perfect.
if you want to go over Why Are You Running.
Yeah, so for team Why Are You Running, we have C-Sag in the top lane Maokai. We have Muting You and jungle Rengar. AR actually AFK running Orianna mid lane. Twitch TV J Justify running Kai'Sa 80 carry. And Dr. Monocle running Nautilus support.
Yeah, and for OSU, it looks like we have playing the Vladimir Almazingdong and Almazadong, my apologies. J-Daddy Melink playing the Jarvan 4, Peridot on the Akali, Dare to Defy on the Jhin, and playing Thresh is 50C Ranch Cup.
Yep, that's just one factor delay here. Let's talk about these compositions. So Why Are You Running is the returning champions of the GA tournament, winning last time pretty one-sidedly. However, this time around, competition's quite a bit higher. We have lots of new teams coming in, lots of high-ranked players coming in. Peridot, in particular, won the very first Game Arena tournament with his team, so although he has a new roster on everyone by him, but otherwise it's looking like a pretty decent comp here from both teams. Top lane's going to be pretty lackluster early on. You know, you're going to have Vladimir against Maokai. They're going to poke each other down a little bit. Maokai has a sustain built in. Vladimir has some sustain built in. Jungle should be interesting. Rengar versus J4. Rengar can opt to be aggro early, but can also opt to just rush level 6, look for the plays, maybe even some counter jungling, as Rengar Maokai have a pretty solid early on 2v2 topside. Orianna against Akali, Orianna has the range advantage early on, but once Akali gets that gunblade, sustain is just ludicrous. So, I mean, as the game goes on, it'll progressively get harder for Orianna to match Akali, I think. As far as Kai'Sa Nautilus into the Jhin Thresh, lots of AP on Wyoming. Yep, definitely.
Yeah,
the Kai'Sa Nautilus versus Jhin Thresh have a very similar playstyles. You know, Nautilus and Thresh being somewhat similar in their kits, looking for the full-on engage, having some disengage in their kit. I think Jhin Thresh has the advantage early on, just because Jhin definitely has quite a bit more damage in comparison to Kai'Sa early on. Kai'Sa being more of the late game hyperscaling carry sort of laning phase. But I think if Why Are You Running gets a lead through the bot lane, you know, you mentioned earlier that they started to draft this protect the 80 carry style composition. I think if they're able to find a lead onto J Justify, they can look to snowball the game. Whereas for OSU, they have a lot of options, right? If they get Vladimir ahead, it's going to be really tough for Why Are You Running to lock him down and delete him in those team fights. If Akali gets ahead, Akali has great zoning potential, putting the Shroud down middle of team fights, great execute potentials. I don't know if they're going to play around bot lane as much. While Jhin Thresh is definitely strong, I think they look to play around mid lane a little. Always looks to play around mid lane a little bit and look for the roaming plays, as especially once Akali starts hitting level 6, because J4 and Akali have very solid roaming potential across the map. They can look to 4-man bot or 3-man top lane, as Maokai is pretty easy to lock down.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. One thing you mentioned in the jungle matchup, I think in terms, the longer this game goes on, the more it becomes Jarvan favored, just because the Rengar isn't going to be able to scale in terms of I mean, the Rengar falls off a lot harder than the Jarvan does because he's not able to build tank the same way and provide the same type of CC presence, especially with the Cataclysm.
Yeah, I think there will come a point where Rengar is able to 100-0 the Jhin before anyone can respond, though. Well, Thresh could just be, Mad Life and flay the Rengar as he comes to jump in.
Mid-hop. That'll be interesting to see. And definitely going to be interesting to see how these teams can execute their compositions. Do have game loaded in.
Yep, guys, we just wait here to switch over to the live game as it is now starting. Why Are You Running versus OSU. I believe, is this a best of one?
Yeah, this will just be, we are in the best of one round robins for the first 3 games of the day. If you can go ahead and press I and put up the scoreboard.
You? Yep. All right, so curious to see how both teams sort of start off. I would not be surprised to see Why Are You Running looking for an early invade, as you do see them 5-man pushing towards that mid side. I think OSU is going to look for more of the 5-point play here, as they will not get spotted by a Kali here. So OSU doesn't know they're here. Some pings coming in, some pings. Oh, nope, they see him. Thresh was able to get vision of them as they pushed in here. Looks like they will just fall back. Not much to get off of this. They didn't opt to get deep vision either. Will most likely rotate to top side to counter any vision invade from OSU coming in.
Yeah, looks like we do have Rengar just spamming some ping help. They may be actually just looking to commit on this invade as they do see the Jarvan.
Actually, I believe it's OSU pinging onto the Rengar. OSU's pinging this bush, this pixel bush here. Oh, Thresh walks in.
Thresh getting collapsed on. Will get connected by the dredge line, and that will be first blood going over to the Rengar.
I don't know about that play, right? OSU knew that they were stacked in that bush. They kept picking it. I mean, maybe they didn't know they were stacked in there, but it should have been. It should have been obvious, I think. As we see J4 opting to start for red. Red might see some vertical jungle coming in around here. As Vladimir doesn't give the greatest leashes. I mean, not many top laners give great leashes, so you are a couple seconds behind in the time.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely agree with that. I think it favors the Jarvan a little more to start on that top side, especially with the fact that they just lost their Thresh right there.
Yep. The first blood on the Rengar is going to make a really big difference too. If it was Jarvan favored before, it's going to be a lot less favored for him now, especially because Rengar's been able to back and get the Hunter's talisman pretty early on.
We're definitely going to be having a very favorable back. Dredgeline won't find the Jhin. We'll just connect on to one of the ranged minions.
We see J4 hovering. Oh, missed the flag Q play. Didn't drop the flag just in time.
I think he had the flag just out of range. Ended up canceling the cast on me.
Yeah, it might have also been some VM, right? Because Dr. Monocle and J Daddy Mealing go quite a ways back. I believe knowing each other since middle school, so maybe some BM coming in from there as well. And Kali just has such great zoning potential with that Shroud. Able to just walk into the back line and just use Shroud to push the enemy laner back because it's just dangerous. Like once Kali puts a Shroud down, you can't fight her in it. It's a losing battle.
Yeah, that vision denial is just never fun to have to play against, no matter which champion you're playing against that provides it.
Yeah, the one thing about Akali is that energy management can be kind of tough. She, 2 Qs basically puts you out of your mana bar, or not your mana, your energy bar. So definitely, when it comes to playing Akali well, that's one thing you'll see the biggest difference on. Like we saw Rengar try something top side, wasn't able to find anything though. And Vladimir's a tough laner to win.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of a CS lead up in this top lane, but there are a bunch of minions crashing into the turret for this Maokai, who might be losing out on some, but looks like he actually went ahead and picked up all of them, mostly. The flag and drag coming out from the Orianna will maintain his safety, doesn't have to blow the barrier just yet.
A good play by AR there, really playing that well, didn't die off, also put a lot of pressure back down onto J Daddy Mealing. Dropping his health bar by at least a good 25-30% as we see him now rotating immediately down to the bot side. Wonder if they're looking for a dive here. Is Why You're Running, warding, they're looking to put some vision down. This could be very dangerous for them. They might get pinched here.
Yeah, looking to get pinch flag and drag, won't connect onto the Kai's dude. The flash, Nautilus looking to just get out if he can, but unfortunately Justified not exactly placed where he wanted to, did get connected with that death sentence.
There could not have been a worse time for Justify and Monocle to get some vision down to the river. With J4 backing behind the tower, just at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, that's definitely, it feels bad, man.
Interestingly enough, Vladimir Mazadong opting to start with a Ruby Crystal, knowing that he doesn't face too much threat in this lane, doesn't need to start something like a Doron Shield or something, is going to opt to get start building his items faster without that 400 gold deficit from starting item.
Yeah, it'll definitely put him towards that proto belt a little bit quicker.
Exactly, right? Because normally you buy Doran Shield and you have to wait for 800 gold to buy Kindle Gem, let's say. If you start Ruby Crystal, you have to wait for 400 gold. You're so much faster. It's a lot more efficient build-wise. And when you're laning against a Maokai and you're someone like Vladimir with built-in sustain who, let's be honest, can't exactly do much to you, it's a pretty free lane that way. A lot of people opt to buy items like coal against Maokai and things like that just because it's such a safe lane.
Yeah, I think without jungle intervention, this top lane is just going to be two champions that just spend a lot of time healing up with passives and ability. So I don't think we were going to see any solo kills up in this top lane.
Yeah, and with that kill, now we see Dare picked up a BF sword, so they have definitely the lane dominance. Looks like why are you running bot lane knowing this, opted to pick up a Cole early on. So it'll be interesting to see if they get punished for that or not. I think Cole was a smart choice, but it's also a little bit risky because you lose a lot of lane pressure in it. I think they might have just said, you know what, we're already behind. Our goal is late game. We don't need to win this lane early. I'm Kaisa. I scale way harder than Jin does. Let me pick up a Cole. Let me just go for the CS game, and I'll see you at 28 minutes in.
Yeah, definitely opting for that scaling. Infernal Drake moved over here for why are you running? Fresh is trying to contest here, but he's really the only one here. Descent will connect onto the Nautilus, but Dragon will go over to why are you running? Paradox does blow the ultimate. Nautilus will go down here. Do have Rengar trying to find whatever he can, just trying to make it out now. Brute will not connect onto him, but yeah, that will be Dragon traded for the support there, which is a pretty favorable trade.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Infernal Drake is crucial. I would trade an Infernal Drake for a death on my support Nautilus any day. That's gonna help. It's gonna help while you're running out a lot later on. I'm kind of surprised I didn't see J-Daddy Me-Link opt to set up Dragon a little bit earlier, as J4 tends to have more Dragon priority over Rengar. Flash heal OSU. Yeah. Also, a quick note. I liked that play from muting you in the bush, where he didn't run away. He saw the level 4 Thresh come in and look for him, and opted to jump right on top of him. Unfortunately, Rengar didn't quite have the itemization for the insta kill just yet. And Vladimir, neither top laner has backed yet.
Yeah, very surprising to see.
They both have so much to send in their kit. They can sit there forever. Vladimir just now backing after having 72 items. Or 72 minions. Looks to pick up the finish goal as Thresh with a roam mid lane finds the death sentence onto Orianna, and that will be a kill picked up. Both TPs coming in.
Yeah, Twister advance onto the Akali, but will make it their way out. Nautilus trying to find the Thresh, will connect the dredge line, play back. Ooh, will get the passive and ignite onto this Thresh. Leap will come through, muting you will pick up the kill onto 50C range up.
Yeah, really, really good flash play there from Dr. Monocle. They're making sure to land that route. Both TPs down for top laners now, so that's another thing to note. However, Akali did manage to find another kill and all that, so while there's only a 500 lead for OSU, which is pretty insignificant, Akali is 2-0. So having a fed Akali is definitely a scary situation. Not only is Akali 2-0, but Vladimir has 80 CS. Right? It doesn't even matter how much CS Maokai has. Vladimir, it looks like they're even opting for a lane swap here. Setting Vladimir mid and Akali top. Oh, didn't find anything. So, good attempt. Trying to lantern to J4 and looking for the flag and drag play here. This is an interesting decision.
Yeah, just trying to make his way out. Will leap to the blast cone. Pool comes out from the Vladimir. Looks like this will be a 3v2. Peridot trying to find whatever he can on him, muting you. Will get the leap back, thankfully. Able to get himself out there. It looks like just a lot of stuff wasted for nothing.
Those are some real fancy plays from Rengar there. Really, you can tell there's some champion mastery there. He jumped to the plant to gain distance ahead of the Akali, and jumped back into the ward banana bush towards mid side to get away from the Akali. Really well played by Mila here. That was really some nice proficiency right there.
Ooh, Cataclysm will come down onto the Orianna, trying to find whatever he can. Jarvan may end up trading his life here. Flash comes out, but will go down in the process.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's the play you want, right? Committing that many resources into a dive play. You are allowing Akali to free farm, but I think not putting on any kills onto the Orianna is more so the play you want there. Just pure gold-wise, I don't know if that anyone's worth as nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, we did see the Tristan fans coming in onto this Maokai. Unfortunately, Kaisa may be going down here. Ultimate is available from this Jhin. Will just pick up Justify with the shot 4.
Really good juggling of aggro there. The tower didn't shoot at Thresh or Jhin just because of how well they played the aggro there. Thresh didn't auto use Flay or anything like that to take turret aggro, and Jhin was able to sit outside of the aggro rate. Really good juggling there from the bot lane. They've already got 3 plates off this thing. This is
Yeah, and one thing I also wanted to point out, I really like the Vladimir build that we see so far, kind of opting for the AP version of that CD or garage sale that we often hear so much about.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's looking for that proto belt rush here. Didn't quite have enough gold to finish the proto belts. Probably have to just pick up a amplifying tome instead. Oh, as we
Yep,
see
we do have the
call.
curtain call come down in the bot lane.
Well, it looks like it wasn't able to find a kill.
Yeah,
the
nothing
monocle is sitting at about 25% HP here.
I really like that animation. That's a cool animation.
Yeah. Oh yeah, some of the Kaisa skin is pretty nice.
I have not seen that in game yet.
Bullet Angel?
No, that's the IG.
Oh yeah.
That's the Invictus. That's the new one. Yeah.
I actually haven't seen this game.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen this skin in game. Also very nice. We do have depth charge coming out from this Nautilus. Will end up giving his life over the process. 2 kills going over. Peridot trying to find anything if he can onto this Rengar. We'll go ahead and blow the flash. Fantastic. Fantastic E over the wall to get Akali out there.
Yeah, that was really well played by both sides. Or the flash a little questionable.
Ooh, flash death sentence there comes out. They do play the leap from the 50C Ranch Cup. Fantastic play there. Was able to cancel the leap initially from the Rengar.
That play was disgusting, and that stopwatch was even more disgusting.
You mentioned if we had Mad Life in this game, and it looks like we might have Mad Life in this game.
Yeah, that was. I tip my hat to you, sir. That was really well played there, because they had vision of the Rengar, but they were so close to the bush that guessing when he's going to jump in is tricky. Because he held Flay for just a second, as we see Mountain Drake being picked up by OSU here. Mountain's important. Because while they have a really strong composition, OSU doesn't exactly have the greatest Baron clear time, right? If you look at while you're running, they have the Rengar and they have the Kaisa. They have 2 characters that do pretty well at Baron, Kaisa being the main one, obviously. Whereas, Jhin doesn't do bad, but doesn't have that consistent attack speed, as well as that passive execute damage that Kaisa provides. So getting a Mountain Drake really allows OSU to contest Barons a lot more against the composition that while you're running is running.
Yeah, and we do actually see OSU opting into the lane swap, moving the Jhin up to the top lane, trying to get that top tower chipped away at.
Yeah, I mean, once they picked up the bot lane tower, it's just a matter of, your standard lane swaps. You see as Jhin goes top lane, and because of the lead, Thresh doesn't even have to sit with Jhin. Thresh is able to just simply roam, do whatever he wants to there. Although we might see Rengar looking for a execute play onto the Jhin, as Jhin is alone up there.
Yeah, it's currently sitting alone. Rengar does have a lot of those early AD items currently. They do have Thresh currently around, not aware that they have Rengar currently sitting in the bush. Rengar may be looking to collapse. We do have Dr. Monocle moving up into the bush. We'll be trying to clear that ward. Dredgeline connects onto the Thresh, is just trying to get out if he can. Flay onto 2 members. Orianna is here. We do have the Death Charge coming out. Stun onto, oh, Shockwave provides Thresh a little bit of movement towards the tower. Death Sentence onto this Kai'Sa will end up giving her life in the process. Thresh doesn't even go down. We do have the Orianna trying to move out, and this is not what you want if you were, why are you running? Nautilus will go down, and this is absolutely disastrous. Triple kill going over to the Jhin. Oh, and we do have Paradox just absolutely wiping Rengar off the map. This is amazing out of OSU. Why are you running? Not where you want to be right now. And this is a full ace for OSU.
There was a lot of hesitation from muting you there, not committing to either play, not getting out but not going in. I think if muting you just jumped in with why are you running when they engaged there, it would have been kills.
Yeah, that was just a lot of miscommunication. A lot of people going in one by one trying to engage. Unfortunately, Kai'Sa did take that killer instinct into turret range, end up getting that death sentence connected onto her, and that was where the fight just went completely wrong.
Yeah, I think you have to question the shot calling a little bit from why you're running there, because I do think that if Rengar didn't hesitate and chose to pull that trigger at the same time that Monaco went in, going in with the Nautilus engages, that we would have seen that play out a little bit differently. Now with that full 5-man ace, we have a 9K plus gold lead for OSU. This is going to be really hard to come back from.
Yeah, we actually have at least 150 gold bounties on every member of OSU currently. That is ridiculous. A 4-0-2 Akali and a 5-0-3 Jhin. Currently sitting at a 3,000 gold lead almost in this spot lane.
Yeah, 3,000 gold lead on that Jhin. About a 1,300, 1,400 gold lead on the Vladimir.
2,500 gold lead in the mid lane.
Yeah, this is pretty brutal. You even have about a 2K gold lead on the support.
Honestly, if you are, why are you running? You just need to try to slow down the tempo of OSU. Try to stall them out as long as you can. Get your Kai'Sa up to where she has that Infinity Edge. Looks like she's opting for the Infinity Edge build rather than a non-hit Rage Blade build like we normally see. Twisted Advance coming out. Nature's Grasp onto this Vladimir. Is just trying to get himself out. Does have the tower to escape to. A lot of damage coming out of that Maokai. Yeah, the problem though is that Maokai was able to rush the Spirit Visage because he's playing against Vladimir. They got Akali mid. But unless you can 100-0 the Vladimir in a full extended fight play, he's just going to sustain all that back up. Ooh, Death Sentence almost connects. Won't find anyone though. A little bit of damage coming onto Jhin, but will just be able to back up. One thing we did miss in that brief commentation is we did have J-Daddy kneeling picking up the Rift Herald.
Oh, yep. And then probably, if you are OSU, I think you just look to break mid here.
Yeah, you are looking to break mid. Can't drop it quite yet with the Orianna standing there. Will get shockwaved. Definitely worth trading the ultimate to cancel that, but
yeah, so if you're OSU here, right, all you're waiting for is for Vladimir to push in if they're going to match the play. Looks like they're choosing to reset, though. Perhaps they might be sitting on a bit of gold. Once Akali gets that Zanya, it'll be kind of rough for Wyron to deal with as well. Stopwatch is picked up so that they have that available. Zanya is now completed onto Ayla Malzadon. So, I mean, if you are, why are you running? Right now, as you mentioned before, your play is Turtle, wait till Kai'Sa gets online. Right? Kai'Sa doesn't even have a single completed item yet. However, is 3 minions away from that Cole completion. So if Kai'Sa is able to get an IE and somehow they're able to stall it out until Kai'Sa is able to pick up that Rage Blade, as you mentioned, I think 3-item Kai'Sa, i.e. Rage Blade, along with...
Oh, wait. We do have Paradox engaging onto Will blow Flash get away. Ignite onto him. Looks like he will end up... Sorry, last tick of Ignite will not pick him up. Cloud Drake does go over to OSU in the process.
And what a good read from Peridot there.
Yeah, fantastic.
Letting the blind execute there. Almost finishing him off with the Ignite. Meaning you forced to flash out of that, even though he was invisible, as you see the Rift now being drawn.
Yeah, play onto this Nautilus will end up getting himself away. Rick Herald is summoned, will most likely pick this up in just a single charge, and they will be able to just move this in.
Yeah, they do have the mountain, so it's, you know, they are able to push this in a lot harder because they already have additional damage onto turrets here, although only able to get one hit onto the inhibitor tower there. Why are you looking to retaliate now?
Yeah, they are stacked up as 4 members right now. You have the Rengar slightly above them, but look, there's nothing really for them to do right now. We are currently at 1940, so Dragon will be coming up short. I'm sorry, Baron will be coming up short, but
Yeah, and if you're while you're running, you can't really contest this right now. You are so far behind. You have no real damage threat right now. You have a Luden's Echo Orianna versus a Gunblade and most likely Zanya's Akali.
yeah, Akali will be finishing up that Zanya's very shortly.
And look how far ahead Jin is from Kaisa too. Like, Kaisa just now completing IE, does pick up the pickaxe, whereas
An
Jin,
item and a half ahead.
right, whereas Jin has an IE, already has the rapid fire cannon, and is looking to go for.
In essence, oh no, I'm confused with
I
confused with that itemization. I think he forgot about.
I think Cloak only
Essence
builds
Reaper
into IE.
No, Cloak also builds into Essence Reaper.
Does it? Okay, okay.
But I'm confused with the BF sword. May just be looking towards the GA. But it always, I play a lot of Jin. I love having that crit, so I do not blame him at all.
Does Essence Reaper give crit now?
Yes, Essence Reaper does 20% crit.
Oh, oh. That item is changed so frequently.
So frequently.
It must be like the most changed item.
They swapped the old passive with Spirit of Sojin passive. Nautilus will be getting caught out here. Fox does come down. He is all caught out here along with 4 members. Not sure why the flash was blown. They're trying to connect the death sentence. Unfortunately, won't find.
This will be Baron.
Yeah, this most likely will be Baron going down, as we do have all 5 members currently alive.
Yep, and with this Baron, I mean, OSU can look to end the game. The fact that, you know, Monaco was caught out there is a crucial mistake right now.
Yeah, currently sitting at 10K gold lead with OSU.
Yeah, and this Baron will solidify that even more. Just look at that, 10K. That's almost a. Actually, that is a 3K gold lead. Oh no, just deleted, just gone. Just,
no, unfortunately, Jay Justify is just wiped off the map there. Rengar will take the last cone in, but he's so squishy, he just gets absolutely bursted.
Almost. He almost was able to find the damage for
Unfortunately, this obby for their really squishy build hasn't picked up a Black Cleaver yet, so it's just very easy to pop up.
Yeah, I think Rengar is just looking to try and have enough damage to, 100 to 0, like, dare.
We have a double Infinity Edge for this Jin.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's on purpose.
No,
or
that's BM.
That's got to be really.
That
BM.
is just 100% BM.
It's funny. I like it.
There's no other reason you could build 2 IEs unless you are so confident and you have the win that you just don't even care.
I like that since we had Akali, Paradox hasn't even blown the stopwatch yet. Instead of opting to finish the Zanya, he goes and picks up the last one.
You know, let's not call it BM. Let's call it AD efficiency.
Yeah.
He just wants as much AD as possible.
Yeah, he's just trying to get that 70 AD.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, you know, just from a sheer AD standpoint, it's
gold efficiency.
It's clearly gold efficiency.
It's gold efficiency. Yeah, we do have Nautilus trying to connect to Dreadline. Will blow flash out, fine track on. Or just to escape. This Jin will just wipe off the Rengar, not able to pop the carry. Curtain Ball will come in, trying to find this this Mount High, but this will be, this is going to be game here for OSU. Fantastic play. They just played amazingly, able to shut down that Kaisa keeper at 0-4-1 and completely denied what, why are you running Dragon?
Yeah, that ace was so crucial.
Yeah, beautiful fight. Want to give a lot of credit for the death set. And absolutely, I think that single-handedly turned around the tempo.
Yeah, the death sentences were definitely crucial this game, but that hesitation from Mario running on top side, the lack of lack of coordination in that play, I think the fact that got ace from that's really when the gold favor just was completely tipped. You know, you had sort of have like a scale going back and forth, you know, okay, you know, why you running is finding some plays, OSU's finding some plays. After that ace, it was just completely OSU dominant.
Yeah, definitely a really exciting game to watch. A lot of credit to both of the carries on the side of OSU. We didn't have a death in the Jin or the Akali, which is just really impressive when you're a Jin. Known as a super immobile AD carry and just gets wiped off the map really often, especially when you're playing against a Rengar. Was able to just completely keep himself alive there. Didn't even opt for the Guardian Angel.
Yeah, like you said, he wanted that AD efficiency. The AD efficiency. Said, you know what? What's more important, armor or AD? AD's in my
AD.
role name.
Yeah.
It's ADC. As long as I stack AD, I'm good.
Yeah, it was definitely an exciting game to watch. We will be back.
And we will take a quick
yeah.
break before the next game, so don't touch the browser.